Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Shel. My name is Shel Anderson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I made it. I am here. It's a miracle. You would not believe my drive home from work today. 3 trains. Yes, 3. So I'm actually on time. It's 6 o'clock. I made it. I didn't think I was going to. But it's all good because we're here together now and we are going to get creative. Today we are going to be having a play with the Prairie grass stamp set. Just a note, this stamp set is actually on the last chance list right now. So it's on sale. So I've featured a couple of other cards this week, as well as previously with this set. Go back and have a look and check them out and see if this is something that you want to add to your collection. All right, I'm also using the fabulous Spotlight on Nature dies. And I'm bringing something out of retirement, my matte black dots. I love these things. As you can tell, I have a load of packages here. I hope they bring them back very, very soon. Tonight is a fun fold night. So this is the card that we are going to be making tonight. So the colors that I've chosen are Basic Beige and Black. Now that is a very, very strange color for me to be using, the Basic Beige, but I pulled the colors from the For Tweed DSP. This is fabulous DSP and will make all kinds of fabulous things, including Easter baskets. Yes, Easter baskets. The pattern is great for those. So that's the paper that I'm using, and I pulled the colors right out of the paper. And my go-to is Basic White. When I went to Basic White, it looked funny. So that's why I brought in the Basic Beige. All right, we are going to get started. Our card base tonight is 7.5 by 5.5, and I have scored that at 3 inches. So this is the first part of our fun fold. Then my card liner is Basic Beige, and it is 4 by 5.25. That's going to go right in there. But this fun fold gets even funner. Funner, is that a word? More fun? This fun fold gets even more fun because I have another flap that I'm going to attach. This flap base is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I scored it at 3 1/4. Excuse me just a second. My puppies are chewing on my boots. We have to take care of that. The bums. Okay. Just like a kid, when your back is turned, they get into something. So, did I give you the measurements? I forget. 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, scored at 3 1/4. Okay, so there's our little flap. And that little flap, I'm going to glue to the back side of my card liner. That way we're not going to see it. So I'm going to take some Tombow, and I am just going to add it to that little flap, like so. And you know how one side looks like the front and one side looks like the back? That's what I'm looking for, if you think I'm being a little bit crazy here. And that is just going to be eyeballed and centered. Okay. I'm going to press that flat, and then I can glue this liner to the inside of my card. And I'm just going to add Tombow. And we will pop this in place. Just centered. See how that basic beige pops against the basic black? It's a very basic card. Now this is the Need for Tweed DSP. This is 3 by 3.5, and that's just going to go right on there. So we are going to pop that in place. You know, there's some fun folds that you can do, that you get, and they're so complicated, and it's almost overwhelming that, sorry, that was crooked. I was talking and not paying attention. They're so complicated that they get overwhelming. So I try to keep things pretty much as simple as I can. Now we're going to shut this, or flip this over is probably the easiest way. And we're going to add this DSP to the big flap. I don't know what this fun fold's called. I'm going to call it a flap fold, double flap fold maybe. It is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. I'll put my measurements out here at the end of the video so you can screenshot them if you don't want to write them all down. And when I post the video on YouTube, I will put the measurements in the description there as well. I always like to put them on YouTube because they only stay on Facebook for 30 days. All right, that is our base. Then I have 2 circles. One's basic black, which is 2 3/4-ish, and the small circle, which is basic beige, which is 2 1/2-ish. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus, if I can find it. And I am going to actually put the mat back in here. And we are going to, actually let's go like this on the sides. I have this lovely image from the prairie grass. It's a very simple image, but I am going to use that, and I know I'm going to have to stamp it more than once. So that's why I pulled out my Stamparatus. You can use your Misty, you can use whatever you want, or if you're a very, very exact stamper, you can just put it on a block and go for it. I usually mess up. And like to see, it's kind of textured here at the bottom and top, but also it's not dark enough for me. I like a nice, dark, crisp image. Hey, Christine, glad you could join. We're having a little bit of fun with prairie grass tonight. One more maybe. Oops. One more stamping, and then we will be done with this. Now there's loads of ink on there, so I'm just going to set that aside to dry while I clean up my mess. There we go. And Now I need to find my stamp set. We need a greeting. So when I put this one away, I will choose a greeting. And I'd like to have something, how about so very sorry? Yeah, I kind of like that. So very sorry. So, somewhere I have, what did I do with it? I had it here a minute ago. Basic Beige. Basic Beige. Is it in my book? Yes, it is. Inside my design book. All right. Let's get some magnets on here. Let's see if we can line this up. That looks kind of straight to me. We'll give it a whirl. Let's pull this plate off and have a look. Yep, doesn't look bad at all. Put some ink on here. And I am going to cut this greeting out, which is good because I got shadows on there. I guess I got a little hard with the ink pad. There we go. I think I'm going to be able to cut around those shadows. There we go. Oops. Trying to put it in the die case. All right, let's bring in my mini paper trimmer and get this cut out. And I want to cut this little bit off the bottom because I don't want that shadow. So that is garbage. And let's take that off to make this easier to deal with. There we are. So now we have a wee greeting. Let's bring these back in. And we are going to layer up our circles. And then we'll bring our card back in. And this circle is going to go on the card front here. And because there's so many layers, I am going to be doing this flat. I'm not using dimensionals for this. And I'm going to go towards the top because I'm going to tuck that little so very sorry greeting right in the bottom. And it as well is going to be flat. Just pop it like so. And now, girls, that's enough. Sorry about that. Puppies will be puppies. Now I need a paper piercing tool to pick these up. And I'm just going to use the tiny ones. Now, do I want them on this side? I don't know. Let's do them on this side just to be different. I have another card I'm going to share with you when I'm done here that is the same fold, but it is totally different. it's nice to have different, and I just realized something. I didn't do my banner. This is the card that we are done with for tonight. And I designed this one as a sympathy card. And it's a super easy fun fold. That's with the fabulous Prairie Grass. And here's another one that I did. That is a fun fold as well, but it's in bright colors. And you see this one here has a banner. I didn't put it on here, but it doesn't need it, right? And I just use white pearls here, where here I use the black. So there's 2 cards there. Same fold, just 2 different designs. All right, that's it for tonight, my friends. Oh, I told you I was going to put the measurements there so you could screenshot them. And I do have the measurements for the banner. It's 1 by 3 3/4. So that is our card designs for tonight. Thanks so very much for joining me, and I hope to see you all real soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.